r/AskReddit, Android fans, what are the primary reasons why you will never ever switch to an iPhone? I hated iTunes way back when and I've never forgiven it. Edit. Thanks everybody. I'm Australian, so I posted this and went to bed forgetting I was in Prime USA posting timeliness. RIP inbox, and thanks for the awards. Competition and flexibility to switch manufacturers with ease. I don't need to be locked into any device if another manufacturer has a better product and innovations down the line. Comfort mostly. Always had an Android phone and never felt the need to change as I'm used to the setup, options and layout. Gaming emulators, you can pretty much emulate everything, from NES to PS2, GameCube using an Android phone or tablet, pretty much a mini Switch, or if your phone supports desktop mode or HDMI out, you can also use your phone to play game on a large TV or monitor. I'm by no means an Android fan but still consider it the lesser of two evils. 1. I don't like to be forced to use anything on my phone or computer. 2. Customization. 3. Jack plug. 4. USB-C plug. 5. Price. Universal back button. It's always there when and where I need it. I had an iPhone a long time ago and every app had its own back button in different locations. No real web browser choice. Apple requires that all browsers for iOS distributed through the App Store use WebKit as an engine, which means that whatever their names, they are all in fact just themed Safari. Variety. I can get different phones in different styles with different functions with Android. I still have my old OnePlus 6T because it has an excellent camera and a light operating system, a modded version of Android, I believe. With Apple, you are stuck with a closed environment on a closed phone, only variation you get this if you buy a new one, and Apple makes damn sure to come out with a new phone every year, which I will admit many Android phone companies do now too. 1. Sideloading apps. 2. No respect for how Apple locks down their devices on the premise of security. X. All browsers have to use WebKit. 3. Price. 4. SD card. 5. No notch. 6. Pretty easy to transfer my data between any Android, once you go Apple it's a fight to get out. 7. Android tends to get features I care about first. 8. I'm familiar with Android. 9. Android can replace the home screen if you don't like the default, clarify, I mean the launcher. 10. USB-C, could change soon, clarify, EU could force Apple to adopt USB-C. 11. Don't have any Apple devices, not in the ecosystem. Price. Familiarity with Android platform. No other devices in my home are Apple, so having just the iPhone would be a nuisance. I had an iPhone for work for a while and I hated it, never again. Features a couple of years before Apple invents them. An always available back button. USB-C. Battery life and super fast charging. Fully customized launcher/home screen. I like my freedom. Android users are the admin of the phone. In contrast, iPhone user feels like they are just a user. Also, I don't want to upgrade my ecosystem, PC, tab, and accessories, just to be compatible/access to iPhone. Price isn't an issue with me, Samsung same price. I'm just used to Android, so why switch and relearn everything done differently? If I'm paying for an expensive device, I'm going to be the admin. I don't look good in turtlenecks. I can turn my text bubbles to any color I like. Because fuck Apple's walled garden bullshit. Admittedly, Google has adopted a lot of the same shit because it clearly works for Apple and corporations love making money, but I can't stand the way Apple operates. Price. Advanced. Modded APK installs. Freedom. Install custom ROM. Have to say it again, freedom. Apple is too restrictive. Reasons, in no particular order. 1. Feel more comfortable with Android 2. Better UI, according to me. 3. Needlessly expensive, including accessories. 4. Better and cheaper alternatives in Android, according to me. 5. Cheaper Play Store. 6. Android is easily accessible. 7. Easy repair facility for Android phones. I am probably missing a few. Again, it's my preference and opinion. I like changing my ringtones to stupid TV themes from the 60s. As an iPhone user who is switching to Android next time I get a phone, it's the anti-consumer business practices and lack of improvements with each new iteration for me. 1. Lower cost for the same hardware. 2. Tray buttons. 3. Software that is not available on iOS. 4. I can make it look like iOS if I want. 5. Development and certificate signing simplicity. 6. I'm Sage bullshit. 7. Loading indicators where iOS is missing. 8. Can develop on any computer, not just an iMac. 1. Android has direct access to your phone's file explorer. 2. Third-party apps not on the App Store. 3. I like the UI better. I will not support a business actively hindering communication between devices by different companies the way Apple does. Seeing the replies, I feel the need to clarify I'm not just referring to messaging. I'm also talking about sharing files, different formats as well as charging ports, also used to transfer data between computers and mobile devices, different or missing ports hindering communication with ordinary headphones, for example. And while I'm on about ports, the whole fucking industry agrees on a universal serial bus, but Apple is like, no, bitch. I'm sparkles. 1. Price. 2. Proper file management. 3. Manga reading is way too easy in Android and there's no proper equivalent in iPhone. 4. SD card expansion. Good Apple products are expensive and I don't have money like that. The phones are too fragile in my experience and tend to break pretty easily. The chargers for the phones and iPad are completely unusable on any other devices vs my Android phone chargers also charge my school Chromebook, wireless headphones, and speaker, and my e-reader and tablet not to munti on my entire family's devices. I don't like the way Safari looks. At all. I've never liked it and never will. I've considered buying an iPad just because I'm an artist and as much as I dislike Apple, their digital art game is pretty fire. But as I mentioned in my first point, Apple is expensive. I ain't got that kind of money. I'd have to buy all new cables, probably a dongle or adapter, and then a charger because they stopped supplying one in the box. Cause I don't want my iMac and my phone to connect. Years ago I plugged my iPod into my iMac and the computer decided my iPod should be the primary library of music or whatever, and it deleted my iMac music library, like 4x the size, to send over my iPod's little library. It did this without asking. I nearly lost my damn mind, but was lucky enough to have a backup with most of my large music library saved. So I decided at that moment if I ever got a phone, this was years ago, I would not want my phone and my desktop linked in any way. My Android phone has been to the bottom of a river without a case and I'm still using it 2 years later. Choice. I don't need the CEO of Apple to decide what goes on my phone. Apple frequently takes choices away from their users, tries to tell them it's in their best interest. That's garbage. They only make these decisions to improve their profits. I hate Apple for beginning the trend of removing valuable features, like the 3. 5mm connector. Then they doubled down and started removing chargers, and the other manufacturers are following suit. Fuck that money-grabbing company. I just like how Android feels. I don't understand iPhone programs and shit. Used to be team iPhone all the way, until I had one break on me after a year and a half of taking immaculate care of it. I decided to try the competition, and have never looked back. Ecosystem. Google controls my lights, cameras, TVs, computers, thermostat, etc. Not to mention I can ask Google to play any song ever recorded and it will play it throughout my house. Not to mention the vast photo library I have that shows up on every TV and display inside my house as a screensaver. Nor the vast video library called YouTube that I can call up on any display at any time to show me anything. Compared to Siri, where a coworker asked it a question and it gave a "I don't know" answer, and my Google Assistant then answered the same question and even explained the answer. So yeah, that. Can't transfer my WhatsApp data from Android to Apple. Expensive. I prefer the Samsung cameras. Nothing too serious, lol. I don't want to pay no money for the same call and text capabilities. My Google Pixel phone has way more features with a much bigger app store than my husband's iPhone, but it was several $100s cheaper. He also has to pay a monthly fee for photo storage, and I don't. I also love Fossil watches and prefer my Fossil Google smartwatch that has more features than the Apple Watch. I have never found Apple operating systems comfortable to use. Something about them just doesn't sit right with me, almost like I can't think the same way as those who created it. It feels clumsy and uncomfortable to use. It's nothing concrete, just a feeling of uncomfort whenever I use an Apple device. I'm the family's resident tech guy, so have used quite a few Apple devices in my day, but I just don't like their setup for some reason. Had an Apple and switched to Android. Didn't like that you generally had to get Apple-specific products for accessories. Also seemed like they got slow real quick BC of constant product updates in which you had to have the latest version. Finally, because I'm not really a person who needs my life on my phone, so I don't need that type of support, which made it seem like I wasn't using a majority of what I was paying for. In my experience, Android just works better and is customizable in ways Apple products aren't. Is it touch to ask to organize my home screen apps from the bottom up and not the top down? I have an Android as my personal phone and have a 5-year-old Samsung tablet. I also have an iPad issued to me by work I got 2 years ago. My Galaxy tablet had more feature and better performance than the iPad that was 3 years newer. I also had pen accessories for both S Pen/Apple Pencil, and the Samsung S Pen worked from day one, never needed to be synced, never needed to be charged, I don't even know how that works, and had extra features like a button to erase or screen capture options. Apple Pencil needed to sync via Bluetooth, had an okay battery life but needed to be plugged into charge, had no features other than just writing, and would constantly lose sync. And then I tried to resync, it would not connect unless I made the iPad forget the device. It was one of the worst products I've ever used, and it was 3 years new than my Samsung tablet/pen. The costs, why pay so much money when I get better things for less money? I don't give a crap about being trendy, I just want a phone that works. I've never been an Apple person and don't fall for their BS marketing. I have to carry 2 phones. I've always bought Samsung Androids. I have to have an iPhone for work. I just don't like the iPhone. Almost everything about it. It's not intuitive. It's just not easy to use. And everything about its UI is cold and antiseptic to me. 1. The prices. 2. Android is just easier to navigate through and customize. A friend once said Apple treats its phone owners like users, Android treats them like admins. That's the most succinct version of it. I like being in control. I want to do all the little settings myself and it be easy doing it and plugging to computer being easy and all of it. With Android phones I pay less for more. iPhones are too expensive for what little you get. With iPhones you have to buy their charger and their earbuds. Android phones are more versatile. Because some of us are not stupid influenced by marketing and don't suffer from peer pressure. As an Apple anti ever since switching to Android my biggest reason would be freedom. You can't customize it or download third-party or anything like that without jailbreaking it. I like my phone to have bubble sound effects and a bubblegum pink system theme and a cute font and whatever the hell else I want. Also love being able to download files that wouldn't be on Spotify, like covers and such. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.